Hello friends, welcome to my channel and thank you for being here today. If you've watched my previous videos, then you'll know that a couple of weeks ago I tore down my plaza and started over completely from scratch. Well, I did it again, but this time in the meadow. In today's speed build, we will be designing a little neighborhood for Goofy, Minnie, Mickey, and myself. So without further ado, let's get on with it. I started my build by connecting the two main entrances to the meadow. I decided to go with the stone path for this build for a more cottage type feel. However, I did use the same arches and lights that I used in the plaza to kind of tie the two areas together a bit. I already had a pretty good idea in my head how I wanted my houses to be laid out, and I wanted them to be almost like a continuation of the plaza. So after laying a path down that will eventually lead to other builds in the meadow, I placed Minnie and Mickey's houses on one side of my center path. If you've watched any of my previous speed builds, then you already know that I tend to use a lot of fencing, and there are actually a couple reasons for this. First of all, it's the easiest way to separate different areas, or in this case, it gives me an idea of the area that I'm going to want to use for the yard of each of the houses. I also really like using fencing to create depth in my builds, and it's definitely a bonus that it doesn't count towards the item limit. I chose to use the white picket fence in this design to stick with the cozy cottage vibe, and I chose to use the wooden lamppost for the same reason. I've really been into using the flower rectangles lately, so I chose to use them in this build to decorate the center path. I think both these and the flower discs are perfect to decorate for spring, and the rectangles in particular work really nicely with the park bench. Directly across from Mickey and Minnie's houses, I placed Goofy's house and my house. For this build, I'm choosing to use the purple cottage, even though it definitely looks better in the forest, which actually I could maybe do a speed build on that in the future. So let me know in the comments below if that's something that you'd like to see. I'd never really taken the time to decorate yards before. I mean, there may have been a couple items here and there, but definitely not what I would consider fully decorated. Since the homes are the centerpiece of this design, I knew that I was going to want to have more decorated yards. I definitely feel like I could have done more, but I'm trying to be more mindful of the item limit in my new build so that I have room to decorate in other biomes. On that note, one of my new favorite things to do is to use dressers as kind of like tool sheds. Not only are they decorative, but they can also be used as functional storage in your game. One of the things that I knew I really wanted to do was give Minnie her very own flower garden. I had initially thought I was going to use some of the various flowers that spawn in the biomes, but I decided instead to go with the flower rectangles. These are a great option because you're able to get the look of a more full garden, but most importantly, you can save some room in your item limit. I used 3 for Minnie's garden here, and I would have used at least twice that many items if I had done individual flowers. One of the main reasons why I chose to use the purple cottage for my house in this build is the back door. I thought it would be neat to have the larger pond in the meadow kind of in my backyard, and since the cottage has a back door, it allowed me to build a path to kind of connect the house and the pond, and it just seemed perfect. Another thing I knew I wanted to do was give Goofy his own garden area. Now, I know it's not a huge area or a huge garden because, again, I'm trying to be much more mindful of the item limit, but it is enough to be cute. The end result of this build is a comfy, cozy neighborhood, perfect for the meadow. This has quickly become my favorite area to walk through in my valley, and I can't wait to add additional builds to this biome. I do plan on more Peaceful Meadow speed builds in the near future, so definitely subscribe to my channel if that's something that you're interested in watching. But that's all I had for you today, friends. So until next time, peace out.